guys, we just got invited to Henry Ford's private collection, the Vault. All right, let's get in this big bad boy and head down to the museum. As I'm traveling around, a lot of people ask, do they actually build cars in Detroit? Well, looky there. There's a whole load of frames, look like pickup truck frames to me. We're headed down 96 here, which is the Jeffries Freeway. We're headed to Dearborn, where the headquarters are and where the museum is. Now, last time I was through the museum, I was about 22 years old. But I got the chance to work there when I was a carpentry contractor, so I got a little bit of behind the scenes look at some of the stuff and the trinkets they have hidden around. I tell you guys all the time, when you come in to visit us, you got to make time to come down here and check out the museum. And you're going to get a really special look at the private vault. We're going to actually see Henry Ford's original Model T that was actually belonged to him. So a lot of cool stuff coming up here, guys. All right, coming up behind these pine trees, there it is, world headquarters for Ford. Now we're right down here in and amongst where River Rouge is too, and I know you guys all know that gigantic plant, steel plant that Henry Ford built right on the river. Super cool. I get to see it every time I hop on an airplane going all over the country looking for all those muscle cars for you guys. Now, I've been a Ford guy my whole life. My dad was into Fords, Mercury's. Pretty much just about every car I've owned throughout the years has been a Ford, just like this 23 model F250 trimmer. Got the high output 6.7 in it. This is one badass vehicle.
Bad news. We couldn't get clearance.
Oh, you're kidding. They're not going to let us in?
No, I'm joking, man.
We're here at the Henry Ford Museum Complex, and we're going into the vault. It's kind of been named the vault because all the extra stuff from the museum's in here, and we got a special invite. This is not open to the public. We got really lucky on this one.
And it wasn't until Top Gear came out and just branded it the Vault.
Oh,
People
really?
started calling it the Vault. She was like, it's funny that you call it the Vault. I'm like,
Yeah.
is that not the name? She said,
Yeah.
no.
That's cool.
It's the power of branding right there.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Hi. So good to meet you,
Hello.
Wendy.
Nice to meet
Good
you.
see you.
So your first car was a Firebird, or was the first car you drove?
It was the first car I got excited about. It was my grandfather's car. The
Nice.
first car I drove was a station wagon. So this is our main storage building. Most museums that collect the level that we collect have only a small percentage of their collections on the floor of the museum. And so these are collections that we've collected since the very beginning with Henry Ford when we were founded in 1929. Wow. So this is a storage facility. It's about 250,000 square feet. We have other storage facilities as well, so this isn't all of it. This is mostly our large scale collections.
What's your favorite thing in here?
Well, I could never answer that.
It's like, what's your favorite child? Right?
Yeah.
My sentimental favorite in the whole collection is the 1948 Tucker, because I kind of grew up when that movie came out, Tucker, the Man in His Dream, so I've always loved that car. Plus ours is very original. It's number 16. It's never really been restored. But in this building, I have a fondness for the Avanti over there, because he used to live in South Bend.
Oh, yeah.
I have a funny story. I grew up in a family of mechanics, and my dad worked at a repair shop, and the gentleman that owned it he had an opportunity to start like either a Buick dealership or an Avanti dealership. And he was a Italian immigrant. He liked the Avanti a lot. And he always looked back, he's like, I should have just done the Buick dealership, I'd be rich today. But he always had like a couple of Avantis laying around, but obviously
They're
the
pretty nice
brand.
looking cars.
Yeah, they're cool. They were ahead of their time for sure.
Yeah.
So what was the story with this car?
Yeah, this was a fully functional Ford GT that was cut in half for the Detroit Auto Show, or the North American International Auto Show, in 2005. So I've talked with people who remember driving this car when it was a whole thing.
Yeah,
So,
these things are going at auction anywhere between $400,000 and $700,000 now.
yeah, they've really.
And they were $1.25 when they were new. Oh my gosh, I'm taking this home with me. My wife would kiss me. Actually, she wants an do you have an EXP or LN7?
I'm afraid not. No. This is
And her first car was an LN7, and her parents drove one of these until it was rusty up to about here.
This is Serial 1, believe it or not. So
No
this is
kidding.
the first Escort. Yep.
Wow. Yeah, that takes some guts to get behind the seat.
Yeah.
Or get behind the motor, I guess, not behind the seat.
Not much room for error.
Hey, Adam, look at this. I'll say this lightly. It's kind of like an LT1. You see the distributor on the front of the motor.
Chevy on the end is kind of special. It's got an air-cooled engine on it, so it's copper-cooled, they call it, because of the copper fins brazed on the cylinders. But Charles Kettering and Chevy experimented in the early 20s with air-cooled cars. Built about 750 of them that got sold to the public, and it didn't work out all the bugs, so they all started overheating. Most of them got recalled. That one survived because Ford bought the thing just to evaluate what the competition was up to. So when the recall came, obviously they didn't send it back. So.
Well, Chevy was kind of ahead of everybody else in the motor department.
Yeah, the overhead
'Cause
valves.
those guys were race car guys, right?
That's true, yeah, Louis Chevrolet. That one was made for Pope Paul VI in 1965. He came to New York for a kind of a whirlwind tour and put that together for him. But that one's kind of cool because after the Pope used it, it went to the city of Chicago, was used as their own parade car. So, this is like the Apollo era. So, name your lunar astronaut they rode in that thing.
Wow.
Yeah, you can remove the panels there and it's open. There's a railing so the Pope can stand up and wave. Actually, the seat where the Pope would sit is on a mechanical jack, so
Already you can crank him up and down. Yeah, this is all removable. That's so cool. I'm an old farmer and I can't tell you what the hell this thing is. Looks like an elevator.
We don't know either.
You guys don't know what it is?
Yeah, we've got like, if you know,
Yeah,
post it
if
on
you
the
know,
board.
please call me and
My
let me
husband's
know.
a farmer too, so a lot
Yeah.
of times I'm like, can you help us out?
And then I'll bet this is a steam engine in this boat.
It is. It's actually Henry's boat.
It was Henry's boat?
Yep.
No kidding. Here's the new. If you want to put something new in the Cyclone, this
Yeah.
is what we're going to put in the Cyclone.
Greg's got a drag car.
Comment below if you think this will fit in a Miata.
We just put 4 wheels underneath it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got, my grandpa bought a C-Nymph aluminum boat the same year I was born, 1962.
Oh,
and
yeah?
It looks a lot like this. And I've still got it.
Oh, that's fabulous.
I believe this is a 61 Chev, but look at the seats. It's got like Recaro seats in it back in the, some really old ones. Isn't that cool? It's even got 4-point harness in the back. The tag says it's a safety car. I wonder if it wasn't like a pace car or something like that. Oh, look at the steering wheel. It's got like a Batman steering wheel in it too. Can you see that in there? It's kind of flat. Or Knight Rider. Remember Knight Rider steering wheel? Mm-hmm.
So he was driven around. Dearborn had had a really bad storm the day before, so all the power was out. There was nothing, so he went and looked around at different, fields and stuff like that, and checked all of the, factories
all
and
the
stuff.
facilities
Got to
and-
check everything out. He used to have lunch in the back of the building here because, he always had to be on site and checking things out. But so he rode around, and then that night all the power was still out. So the story is, he was born by candlelight, died by candlelight.
Okay.
And so he had what we think is a stroke brain aneurysm that evening, and then passed away.
It was unexpected. It wasn't like
Yeah, it was very rapid.
42 V8 Super Deluxe 4-door sedan. Three on the tree.
Look at this.
Would he get? I wonder if he was like driven around a lot, or actually
No, I
drove.
think he did the driving.
I
if
think he
remember
did
right.
for a long time, and
Yeah.
at the end he was driven
Yeah.
around
Right.
pretty
Yeah.
exclusively.
Look at this thing. Now you'd think this is a pedal car, but it looks like this is what makes it go, and these are what steer it. So what you would
Oh,
think
yeah.
would make it go is actually the steering mechanism. This thing's great. Look at the crankshaft back here in the back. See the little crankshaft? Check out this radiator. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Let's make it a V.
Rolls Royce, owned by J.P. Morgan. That's what it was, not Rockefeller.
This is J.P. Morgan's
Yep,
car.
but everything was sort of like on 1.5 times scale, and you also have right driving vehicle because
So this was the actual car.
this is the actual car. Yeah. And it's nearly a bus. Like it's not even a car.
Yeah,
at that
those are
point.
house windows.
Right, exactly.
J.P. Morgan sat in that.
I think it's J.P.
Oh,
Morgan Jr.'s vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's an '03 Cadillac over here. I actually know a guy that's got one of these in his garage. It's about half restored right out by my house. 1903 Cadillac. There's the Cadillac emblem up front here. Look at that radiator. Isn't that cool? Yeah, it's actually one of my wife's quilting buddies. Her husband has one of these sitting in his garage right over, it's not more than 3 or 4 miles from my house.
When you
Super
said
cool.
03 Cadillac, I thought you meant 2000.
I did
Yeah, no, 03, baby.
Pretty
The
sure.
original 03. This is old school NASCAR.
It's a Thunder 87 T-Bird.
Yep. Turbo coupe.
Bill Elliott. I keep working Greg, we're gonna get a NASCAR.
Yeah. Now the cage they put around the seat and those things has probably got more time and material in it than this whole car has.
Look at that seat.
I know.
Like, what, as a consumer and lover of cars, if you had to pick a car from in here?
Those Lincolns and everything have all come back because those are the things guys my age are thinking, you know, this used to be Dad's car.
Right.
You know, so it brings back a lot of memories and that. This is the X100. This
Yep.
is the one that's got like 50 innovations from back in the day.
Which variable volume horn? You've got me. I'm
Oh,
sold.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
You're telling me I can fully
With
blend
the
it?
rear windshield wiper. And then it looks like, can you see inside there? All the levers and everything. I mean, it looks more like an airplane in there than it does a car.
Yeah.
I mean, I know my truck has rain sensors on the windshield wipers now, but.
There's no car that has that even today. Is
Oh,
there?
yeah. Look at that Lincoln.
Yeah.
I remember when that came out, the concept car.
I do too. Does that look like out of a Batman cartoon?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really done.
Look at it. This, what is this, snowmobile number 1?
Seriously.
Wow. Look at this thing.
Snowmobile number 1.
Talk about keep you warm, wrap your legs right around the motor. Oh, look at this Harley.
The first Harley?
Yeah, that's an old one for sure. Well, this is 1868. I don't know if it's that old, but hey, all you city boys, what's this?
Some kind of pump.
Looks kind of like my basement. All right, it's time for lunch. Where else would we go but Ford's Garage, baby? Prime burgers, beer, and old cars. All right, I want to thank all of the people here at Henry Ford for letting us come out and tour this place. And if you come visit Detroit, you got to come down here, man. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Just look at the sign. We got Henry Ford Museum, Greenfield Village, the Rouge Factory Tour. We've got all kinds of stuff to do down here. You could spend a week here going through things. And I want to thank everybody, especially Mr. Henry Ford. You started this out. You did an awesome job.